Imagine this. You're alone in your house. The lights are low. The streets outside are dead silent. Then, suddenly, you hear your front door handle turn. Slowly. Carefully. Tonight, we're diving into 3 true home invasion stories. Each one more disturbing than the last. And every single one happened to someone just like you. These aren't urban legends. These are real. Lock your doors. Check your windows. And listen closely. Story 1, The Closet Creak. Sarah was a 26-year-old nurse living alone in a quiet suburban apartment. She had just finished a long, exhausting night shift and arrived home around 6:30 in the morning. After locking her front door behind her, she collapsed onto her bed without changing out of her scrubs. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky. The apartment was silent, until she heard it. A soft creak. She stirred, barely awake. The sound was faint, like wood shifting. She assumed it was just the building settling. But a few minutes later, the creak came again. Closer this time. More deliberate. Still half asleep, she got up and wandered toward her living room. That's when she noticed something strange. Her hallway closet door was slightly open. She always kept it closed. As she stared, a pale hand reached out from the shadows, and gently pulled the door shut. Sarah froze. Her blood ran cold. She backed away and ran to her front door, but the lock jammed. Someone had locked it, from the inside. She slammed the bathroom door shut, locked it, and dialed 911. When police arrived, they found a man crouched inside the closet. He was holding a kitchen knife. He had broken in during the night, and waited. For over 9 hours, he had watched her sleep. Story 2, The Man in the Crawl Space. In 2019, a family of 4 moved into a charming rental home in rural Oregon. It was spacious, quiet, surrounded by trees. It seemed perfect. But soon, they began to notice odd things. Items would be in slightly different places. Leftovers were missing from the fridge. Once, they found the attic light turned on, even though no one had been up there. The father initially thought it was just forgetfulness or the kids playing tricks. Until one night, he heard a faint thumping coming from above the ceiling. He grabbed a flashlight and a baseball bat and quietly climbed into the attic. What he found horrified him. In the far corner of the attic was a makeshift bedding area, blankets, food wrappers, and a pile of clothes. Someone had been living there. But what was worse, the spot was still warm. He called the police. They searched the attic and crawl space thoroughly. Hiding behind the insulation above their bedroom ceiling, they found a man. He had night vision goggles, a hunting knife, and a small notebook. Inside the notebook were handwritten logs, times the family left the house, when the kids were asleep, and even conversations they had in the kitchen. The man had been living above them for at least 3 weeks, and watching them the entire time. Story 3, The Ringing Doorbell. Tyler was 17 years old when his parents left for the weekend. It was just him, the family dog, and a fully stocked fridge, perfect. At around 2 a.m., the doorbell rang. He wasn't expecting anyone, and no one should have been out that late. He checked the doorbell camera on his phone, and saw a tall man standing completely still on the front porch. The man didn't move. Didn't speak. Just stood there in the rain. Tyler waited. After a few minutes, the man turned and walked out of frame. But 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang again. Then again. And again. Finally, Tyler shouted from inside, "Go away or I'm calling the police." The doorbell stopped. But a moment later, it rang 6 times in a row. Rapid. Violent. Tyler looked through the blinds, and nearly dropped his phone. The man was now standing at the window, just inches away, staring directly at him. Tyler called 911, heart racing. As he hung up, he heard the back door handle jiggle. Police arrived 7 minutes later. There was no sign of the man. But muddy footprints led from the front porch, around the side, to the back door. Then, into the woods behind the house. They never found him. Real horror doesn't always come from ghosts or monsters. Sometimes, it waits in your closet. Sometimes, it watches you from the attic. And sometimes, it stands quietly on your porch, hoping you'll open the door. If you enjoyed these stories, subscribe for more true horror. And if something terrifying has ever happened to you, send it in. Because next time, it might be your story we tell.